Capricorn, hello, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, please do go ahead and check the description box below where you're going to find links to my Facebook page and my website address, which will give you a little bit more information about the work that I do as an intuitive energy healer. Also, you will find on this channel in-depth fortnightly and monthly readings, okay? However, unique to Instagram are the weekly quick reads, all right? So it's just a brief 5-minute energy read for all of the zodiacs that you will see posted on my Instagram page only, okay? So, but these guys, these readings, their intention is healing, okay? So it's about activating energy within you. It's about connecting you with what you already intuitively know. My channel is dedicated to empaths, intuitives, and sensitives, those that identify that they may be on the awakening path or journey. What you're going to find at the beginning of every video is a cosmic compass overview. I like to talk about the influencing planetary energies at play for all of the zodiacs. All right, that gives us an idea of what energy and potentials we're working with. And then we can relay that further and go into detail with the spreads to see how that might be applying to you. As above, so below. That's why the planets are of relevance. As many of us know, it's been a hotbed of activity and retrograde energy. If you do follow astrology, during the month of July, we continue to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retrogrades, okay? But I want to complicate things further by saying there is actually 7 if we include asteroid activities, actually 9. All right, so Chiron and Ceres begin retrograde motion on the 11th and 7th respectively. What does that mean? Well, essentially Ceres is, again, it's this nurture role. It's a big theme, this divine feminine energy that we're all experiencing after the Cancer solar eclipse over the last 2.5 years, balancing the divine feminine masculine. If you haven't already, please do go ahead and check out your other videos on my channel where I go in depth about perhaps the symbolism and the archetype energy that is available to us on 3D and 5D levels when it comes to the planets. Chiron is the wounded healer, and it is essentially about, in very simple ways, how we make the most of our wounds of the past. You know, it's that classic nature versus nurture. Are we acting out from trauma? Are we acting out from a wise perspective of what we have gained from the wisdom of that trauma, okay? Mercury is still in retrograde, Neptune's in retrograde, Saturn's in retrograde, Pluto's in retrograde, so too is Jupiter. Venus continues, it closes off its retrograde, okay, at the end of, it has closed off its retrograde at the end of June. However, that shadow effect, which we call the shadow, still permeates right through the end of July. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn on the 5th of July, and we've got another new moon in Cancer on the 20th, okay? So we've had a couple of eclipses in June. We've got our third of a series of 3, if you like. Now, this eclipse energy will continue to play out for another 6 months, but what we did kick off in June is the Sagittarius and Gemini ecliptical cycle, okay? So we are closing down from a 2.5-year cycle with Capricorn and Cancer. We are now kicking off the Gemini and Sagittarius ecliptical cycle. So for you guys, Capricorn, this 5th of July lunar eclipse is the final culmination, if you like. It is the blast, the finale, whatever the case may be, for you to truly wrap up and integrate the wisdoms of the last 2.5 years specifically. So many Capricorns may be feeling the depth there. They may be feeling that review, going through the timeline. Things from the past may be coming up if perhaps they didn't integrate as well as you perhaps wanted them to. Everyone makes a choice on a soul level. You know, I say this on my channel all of the time. You are your greatest guide, healer, and counsel. Seeking outside approval and advice is one thing. Research and intellectualizing alternative concepts is quite the other, okay? So really going within and trusting the voice within, Cappy, is the gift of retrogrades, and more so importantly, the focus of my healing work, okay? What I want to do with the July spreads is going to be a little bit different than what's happened with the other Practically Soulful readings for each month. I do want to use the July period as a check-in point, okay? Smack bang in the middle of, we're right in the middle of retrograde energy. We're right in the middle of this ecliptical changing of the guards, if you like. And naturally, on the Gregorian calendar, July kicks off the next 6 months of the year, okay? So let's do a check-in. What I want to do is a mirror effect. I've done it in another reading similar. I want to pull 3 soul cards to give you a theme of perhaps what 2020 has ultimately been about for you. Obviously, how we started this year is not going to be how we end it. We've had quite a lot of intense global activity sort of front and center in that first quarter, second quarter of the year. And where we're finding our footing is going to be a hell of a lot different to where we perhaps thought, all right? So it's about the deeper soul wisdom lessons, okay? Thanks to the soul cards. I've picked 3 for you already, which is about pride, adversity, and abundance. These are the energetic themes that 2020 is offering you as a foundational year. If we break down the numerology in the year 2020, we've got 4, okay, which is about foundations. It's about clearing the slate, starting the rules from scratch, going by our standards, regardless of what was handed to us, shown to us. The old world is dying, if you like. As we age, we ascend. As we grow, we evolve. We don't necessarily have to adopt in full the practices, values, beliefs that our families, our religion handed to us at a certain part in our timeline. All right, so here we are now and able to really set some new foundations so we can really embrace the 5 energy next year in 2021. Not forgetting that 2020 also breaks down to the Master 22. And the Master 22 is the Master Teacher. So in many, many ways, this particular retrograde cycle, this particular year of the changing of the guard of eclipses, there's a theme permeating subconsciously for many of the zodiacs that is about what has life taught me? What has this thing taught me? This relationship, this challenge, this shift, this career. Name your thing, okay? We are working with master teacher energy and we are working with foundation energy. And it is because of the wisdoms and the challenges and the experiences in life that we then get to integrate them to create foundations moving forward. Now, that doesn't go without saying they can be exactly the same as what we've always done, or they can be completely different. Hence, we're going to be feeling this energy quite strongly. Pride, adversity, and abundance. I want to check in and see where that may be connecting in to see what themes come up, okay? So this first row will reflect the original intention, the conscious intention you may have entered this year with, okay? The second row will clarify and delve a little bit deeper and perhaps identify the subconscious intention, okay, and how they bridge, how they connect, how they clash, where you might be experiencing challenges, because on a soul level, on a 5D level, we can be aware of concepts and understandings, but it's quite the opposite to truly integrate that in the 3D. What we're thinking is a challenge or a clash or a conflict is perhaps just that merging of higher knowing with the reality that we're in. It might be cognitive dissonance. It might be a complete reset of emotional frameworks and understandings, beliefs even, okay, which can be quite tricky. That is the challenge of embodiment, all right? All right, my lovely Capricorn. So pride, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Adversity, I accept the challenges. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Abundance, I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. I'm definitely connecting. I'm not going to turn these cards over yet because I'm just going to go with the flow of the energy. All right, so 6 is the number of harmony. 3 is the number of creation. We are wanting to always create harmony. Through creation, we want to bring harmony into our lives and experience, yeah? These are the magic numbers that I'm working with, but there'll be a total of 12 tarot cards, which marry up with the 12 chakra system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's leave it at that. Under this deck is the Ace of Swords. Now, the permeating and subconscious themes, the energies that you will definitely be working with how you started your year, you wanted to get clear, you wanted to cut away, you wanted to level up, you wanted to promote, okay? Use that energy, interpret that energy however you wish, Capricorn. This was about getting to the heart of the matter. This was about crystal clear clarity. This was about truth, okay? And perhaps you might have even found yourself in the first 6 months of this year really using cutting language if it was necessary, finding yourself having to pull back, okay? Being aware of the words we're using, but more importantly, a very strong, I'm going to say I'm picking up on a 3D focus of the mental realms, okay? I'm not saying that there are no Cappies out there that have been disconnected from meditation or disconnected from their higher self or their connection to spirit and source, whatever the case may be. But this is very much a commitment and an immersion in very 3D responsibilities is what I'm feeling with this. This was about, okay, this is my reality. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I'm going to dedicate my energy to. I'm feeling a strong grounding in the 3D here, about definitions around success, about definitions that were needing clarity, okay, so that I could clear my way forward, identify a clear path forward. Definitely promotion energy, okay? So there was shifting ground, shifting sands. You might have been feeling this emotionally, Capricorn. You might have been feeling this on a mental level. Deeper still, if we weren't addressing and embracing this energy, okay? Life was shifting and changing and really challenging us, and we kept finding ourselves needing to be clear on some level, needing to cut things away that were getting in the way. And yes, more often than not, we get in our own way, hey? All right, let's take a look. So pride. There were challenges so far in the first 6 months of this year, Capricorn, and certainly these themes, okay? When it comes to the soul cards, these themes are the themes of 2020 for you in many different ways, and they can apply to your relationship with self, your connection to others, the challenges you've been facing, the family dynamics, the career, the relationship you have with your career, okay? Your path, your purpose, name your thing, all right? This was about dropping ego, okay? Getting clear on when our ego got in the way, okay? Ours or others, okay? And when we more so perhaps needed to connect into compassion and higher awareness, getting clear. It's almost like divine justice, all right? When the Ace of Swords shows up, make no mistake, it's almost like the hand of God without being able to think of a better word, okay? This was the year where you had to truly address this sense and energy that you allowed pride to take in your life. Now, make no mistake, I'm very practically soulful, okay? Pride is essential. It gives us a sense of who we are. It gives us those definitions around our successes, which are markers of our progress, okay? But yes, let's be realistic. Pride can be unhealthy to our wholesome development when it is about ego. We had to get clear on what it is that makes us feel this genuine pride. How does that sustain me on a solar plexus level? See this muted yellow on the card? It's definitely yellow, but it's quite muted, and I'm really interpreting this in a very humbling way because of the adversity card and because of the abundance card. It's like sometimes I interpret this card as a very way in which to get our attention with how we allow pride to get in the way. I'm not discounting that. That's definitely relevant for some Capricorns, whether that was you, whether that's what you were dealing with, okay, whether those are the issues you've been dealing with, the challenges of pride. You know, I want this success so bad. I've put so much effort into this. My pride, my ego is now taking a beating in some way on whatever level, you know, because I do see this adversity card, but I love myself and I see myself in everyone. You know, it goes without saying, Cappy, you above all others push yourself, criticize yourself, judge yourself the hardest. And yes, a beautiful, natural outcome of that is that you set high standards for yourself and others, but sometimes when pride is being used in the negative, or when it's being integrated in the negative sense as a challenge energy, okay, we can be unrealistic with our expectations of others, and more importantly, we can be unrealistic with our expectations of self. These are definitely the energies that you've been healing. And when I said humbling before, see how there's a muted yellow? It is not glaringly yellow. The solar plexus in its full confidence, full empowerment, which can also be quite gregarious in that really bright sunflower yellow. It can tip over then into unhealthy pride and ego, if you like. But I'm feeling there's been this humbling, this muting of the role pride has taken in your lives. Maybe in many ways, if you look back at the last 2.5 years, who you were and what made you feel prideful and proud of yourself, okay, has muted. You're not drawn to the attraction of the drive of the dollar coin, the certain milestone in that career, whatever the case is. There's been something here, and there's been a shift in your views of what abundance truly means for you, is what I want to say. You know, you guys were leading the south node of the ecliptical cycle over the last 2 years. And when a sign is leading the ecliptical cycle from the south node, it is about truly facing the past. And it can be completely humbling when we go through the timeline. It can be completely shocking when we sort of really identify the adversities that have shaped us and made us. And maybe we were walking through these experiences in survival mechanisms, okay? We might have just been carrying on to get on, is the energy I'm feeling from some Capricorns out there, okay? So there's been this muting of pride energy, and maybe in many ways the last 2.5 years, and more particularly this wisdom has been integrating in the last 6 months for you of 2020. It's been a humbling, okay, and more so a connection into the heart space and redefining, creating new definitions around abundance. You know, we can fill that bank account, we can tick those amazing career goals, but at the end of the day, abundance comes from a deeper sense of self and connectivity to our loved ones and to what truly means the most to us. And it's great to have successes, Capricorn. But there are other things here that I'm feeling that many Capricorns have been really identifying the role adversity has played in your life. Perhaps you were using adversity as, and I can really personally relate to this, being told you can't do something, or okay, so that failure was my milestone. I'm not only going to re-kick that goal, I'm going to amplify it some because I want to show them. And when we say them, really we're speaking to ourselves, we're speaking to our past self, we're speaking to the timeline that shaped us, and whether that was filtered with individuals that caused us adversity, whether that timeline was filtered with experiences that caused us adversity, that helped us really reframe our definitions, really. It's almost like you are re-identifying your relationship to adversity, and there's this mutable pride that's coming through, and I feel a less aggressive need to seek pride in what may have been material or superficial. And the only reason I'm using those words is because I'm feeling a redirection of my focus when it comes to abundance here, Capricorn. How wealthy am I if I do not have an abundance of mental peace, clarity in the mind? How abundant am I if I do not feel an abundance of love within my heart or within the connections in my life, or if I feel alone? Because I'm feeling this lighthouse energy here where many Capricorns felt like they had to be the lighthouse in one way or another in their journey, okay? Which automatically makes us feel alone, that we cannot reach out for support because we have to be that support for others. I have to be that guiding light on some level. And maybe many Capricorns that I'm connecting into swallowed their pride and were able to use this year on some level to reach out, open their heart, connect into their emotional body, ask for help perhaps, or were humble enough to accept their circumstances as they were and realize they were still abundant. It's been a year that has slowed us all down in many ways, Cappy, and it certainly hasn't traveled the way we might have originally kicked off January 1st, yeah? Like global circumstances are very big proof of the ever-changing landscape in which we all find ourselves in. So many of us have had to redefine what success means for us, what adversity has taught us, how we're handling this current adversity of shifting sands and times. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. There's a reflectory, is that even a word? A reflection opportunity in this year for many Capricorns, to see how their challenges are perhaps mirrored in those around them. You see yourself in others. You're seeing yourself more so in others, perhaps even the ones that have caused you adversity, Capricorn. Now that's something beautiful. You know, we're seeing the common humanity, the common empathy link that links us to each other, despite at one point in the timeline perhaps feeling very different and very prideful in our right to be solitary is what I'm feeling here. I keep feeling solitude, removing myself all the time, but desperately wanting connection, desperately wanting a mentor, desperately wanting someone to guide me while I was navigating waters that I had no idea how to navigate, is what I'm hearing. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn, and maybe I'm connecting into Capricorns that are smack bang in the middle of handling, you know, those very adversities as we speak. Don't forget, you know, 2020 offers us the opportunity to build new foundations, okay? With what we have, with what we know, with what we've learnt. Adversity has been an amazing teacher, okay? And we can really get stuck smack bang in the middle of adversity and really go against the tide of pride and struggle and really blame circumstances, blame challenges, and continue this downward spiral. Or we can truly embrace the choice to see abundance wherever it is, no matter how small, so that we can be our own lighthouse to get ourselves out, okay? I'm definitely connecting in to Capricorns that are working with abundance energy and becoming more and more aware of how you are the light within the dark when it comes to what it is you want to draw forth. Your vibration, your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs and feelings, if they've needed a reset, okay, it is simply because you're connecting and becoming more consciously aware of the creative ability within you to draw forth your circumstances. And yes, there's a lot of humbling that happens when we realize that we have drawn forth adversity based on our choices, on higher wisdom levels, okay, on deeper subconscious drives. We have wanted adversity for a reason. We have drawn forth these challenges in the very same way in which we draw forth our abundance, because these are wisdom teachers, and on a soul level we wanted this. It is when we humbly take accountability for our choices and actions, and it is from that point we realize we are abundant and we are free. Okay, I want to unwrap the tarot and see what else I'm picking up on when it comes to these cards. But these soul cards, I can really get lost in them. It's very much about throat chakra energy. It's very much about connecting into sacral chakra energy, solar plexus energy, a redefinition of your solar plexus, which is your life force, your drive, your confidence, your genuine confidence. You know, confidence can be experienced on the external. It can look like pride on that lower energetic level, if you like, okay? But then there's this humbling that happens when, regardless of our circumstances and our adversities, we know that we still have that sense of pride for self because of integrity, because of authenticity, whatever the case may be, Capricorn, take it however it resonates. There's a big focus here when it comes to really communicating in new ways, when it comes to your life force, your confidence in self, okay? And refreshing and resetting that base chakra, obliterating old fears that have perhaps even subconsciously plagued you and influenced your decisions. All right, this is a base chakra reset. Okay, so this is a foundation card, and when we are creating new foundations in 2020, you know, sometimes we have to get really thorough, and challenge after challenge shows up to really ask us what it is that we need to address here and identify and get clear on, thanks to the Ace of Swords. There's a cutting away, a leveling up. This is about you making the most of that ecliptical cycle over the last 2 years and really integrating that, okay? I definitely pick up on some new beginning energy here. You know, you were optimistic and you knew this year was going to take some courage. Maybe you had really set some plans in motion to achieve by August. There were jobs to win, jobs to gain, okay, projects. You wanted your life to be in a certain station, a position. You wanted to manifest something by August. Maybe a Leo is significant. Maybe you have that in your chart. But what 2020 has offered you instead, okay, was an opportunity to pull back. Maybe you didn't want to, okay, because It was a new beginning that you were so desperately wanting, and you thought it was going to manifest or be created by you in one way. All right? But where you find yourself and where you've been forced to ground yourself in is this retreat, to work on something else. See, this is traditionally a work at it card. It is a career success. It is old ways of doing things is what I keep hearing, but you needed a new way. And in order to do a new way, you had to really go into the wisdom of Temple. You had to go within to really review the timeline, review the last 4 years even. It might be an 8-year story. All right? This year has pulled you back to create your own 0 point energy. There's been an awakening this year for you in many different ways, awakening to see that there's a new way of doing things. All right? And that was the gift of this year. And by the end of 2020, you really will embrace this higher view and see that everything has been of purpose. So I could very well be connecting into Capricorns that might not be feeling this energy yet, because you're still wanting to work with abundance. You're still wanting to work with manifestation energy. You're still wanting to pull away on some level, okay, or feel sovereign, feel like the lighthouse, okay, not really reach out and connect. You might be distracting yourself with work. You might be wanting to secretly work on something here that you're not quite sharing with other people, is what I'm feeling. And that could be emotional growth. It could be a change in beliefs. It could be the challenges you have with your thoughts, all right, and how they get in the way of true abundance. Okay, your beliefs around abundance are shifting and changing. I do want to pull some other cards here. I'm going to say between August and December is going to be quite a fruitful period for you. And the best way forward is perhaps, and it's actually going to set you up for the next 4 years in one way or another. There's going to be career decisions. There's going to be a new beginning and a reset for you, Cappy. Okay, so August to December is quite significant for your rebirth, your new beginning. Because over the next year, this year was about emotional fulfillment. I'll tell that story later on. And to really get clear, to have clear thought, and really to get clarity on how your thoughts either hinder you or truly support you. Are they abundant, you know? Are your thoughts abundant with possibility? Are they abundant with nurture? How do we get stuck in our thoughts? And maybe in many ways you sensed that this time was coming. You knew that this year would be different on some level. Did any of us think it would be like it is? You know, I think, like I'm looking back on a lot of my client readings from late last year into early this year, and I kept highlighting, you know, March and April was a big time for a lot of the people, and I felt intuitively, because I pick up on collective energies, that there would be this second wave or awakening, if you like. And, you know, did I predict it detail by detail that it would be this shutdown of everything? And no, I didn't, but there was a massive change for a lot of people that we would be adapting to. Some would handle it, some would benefit from it. There you are at the base of that reading, my lovely Cap. Okay, that's the King of Pentacles. You might be connecting into another Capricorn or a Taurus or a Virgo, but this year is about you coming into your masculine element, your highest element from a masculine perspective, okay? The Queen is introspective energy, going within, gaining that wisdom, those skills, those abilities from within by going into Temple, if you like. The masculine energy invites us out, okay? So this is an action, all right? And in many ways, I'm connecting into Capricorns that I see that this introspective period will then boost you. There is a period that is significant between August and December, okay? Thanks to the Strength card, number 8. Thanks to the Hangman, number 12. Between August and December, there's going to be something that you may even be sensing now, all right? You might begin to sense it in August, all right? But there's a promise of a reset. A brand new beginning in career, a brand new beginning in what you want to commit to moving forward, okay? Let's take a look and see if the clarifiers want to say. Yeah, July is significant. Wow. Okay. I'm definitely connecting into Capricorns that perhaps were humble with what they thought this year would be about. Maybe you did your little 2020 goal list. Maybe you had an idea, okay? There's a strong dynasty energy here. There's a strong marriage commitment. And when I talk about marriage and union, you know, guys, this is about you coming into union with your higher self. This is you coming into union with what you intuitively already know. I feel like Pisces season was relevant for you. Maybe a Pisces is relevant. Maybe a Cancerian is relevant. But between the zodiac time frames of Pisces, which kicks off in February, so between February, mid to late February, and also towards the end of July is a significant chapter for how you create your dynasty moving forward, the foundations you want to commit to, what you will choose to commit to. If you're struggling at this time, finding yourself removed, and that's now starting to sound familiar with your fortnightly and quick reads that I've been doing for you guys lately, there's been this removal energy, feeling like you're distancing yourself. Maybe it has been to really identify the timeline, really review what you have learned, not just in the last 2 years, but many. This might even be an 8 to 10 year story, okay? But like I said, the last 4 to 8 years have been significant. I also want to say, it's almost like you, your conscious self, your 3D self, Capricorn, had this plan, a very humble plan, but then your higher self had something so much bigger. And now I've got goosebumps. You were wanting to make a beginning on some level. This was an expression, a new relationship you have with your emotions or emotional expression. You've been learning something here and how that ultimately connects you into your intuition. And when I see these two together, I'm not communicating what I intuitively want to or intuitively picking up on, okay? There's even heartfelt expressions here that don't even come out as what I'm feeling. They don't even come out the way I want them to come out. But there's been a promise of new beginnings this year, and maybe there are many Capricorns that are finding themselves communicating in different ways, expressing themselves more transparently. And it's not that you've got anything to hide, but it's this pride energy that gets in the way when I don't want to be vulnerable and expose myself, because I don't want to feel like a fool. I don't want to look foolish, be foolish, you know? Where I'm strong, where I'm good is in this workspace energy where I'm achieving successes that can be tangible, that I can have and hold and show who I am. And they're beautiful, Capricorn, you know, but there's this other element of you that you've perhaps just started to courageously open up or start to see in a whole new way. And I feel like in many ways you've always known it was there. You perhaps just didn't share it. It didn't make manifest in your physical. It didn't make manifest in your discussions with others when you shared yourself. It's like this energy I'm picking up on is when someone asks you who you are, you explain this surface level. But there's so much depth. There's so much more to you. Okay? There's definitely a flowering of your experience with your emotions. There's a flowering and a blossoming, and more so importantly, how it activates and syncs with your intuition and what you intuitively know. Okay, how much you've worked with your intuition. Okay, the hidden and the unseen forces that have been at play that you saw coming. You knew they were coming. You knew it was time to make a new beginning. Okay, you knew it was time to I wanted to celebrate a victory, but it's almost like I'm seeing money here and successes, and yes, that's a victory, but there was a deeper victory you were seeking. There was a deeper victory you were seeking. You were wanting to feel like all systems go. And as much as I can, I'm feeling like even a push-pull energy from the last 4 years, like I knew what my goals were and I focused on them, but there was something deeper calling me, wanting my attention. It's like there's this deeper thing going on for the Capricorns that I'm picking up on that feel more true to abundance and success for you, whether that is a love relationship, whether that is your relationship with love, whether that is your relationship with your emotions, your mind as well, and how you're looking at potential opportunity in a whole new way. Maybe vulnerability was such a big thing for you that you shut it away. But there's this courageous way in which you're looking at your opportunity to really connect into your emotional field, the way you express heartfelt emotions, Capricorn, and how that makes you feel. You're wanting a success, okay, a victory to travel towards marriage, commitment, your dynasty. This is financial success, yes, but they're also very strong marriage cards. You're coming into union with a new defined sense of abundance. You're coming into union with that financial goal you have set for yourself. This year is bigger for you in many ways. It is more abundant for you in other ways that you perhaps never even dreamed or allowed yourself to believe. I feel I'm talking to Capricorns that reverted back to an old way of doing things or had humble plans. You know, when I originally picked up this Ace of Swords, it was that 3D energy that I felt like I was focusing on. But there was this deeper 5D energy work at play for you when it comes to what your higher self and the universe wants for you this year. You will actually already intuitively know it. It is like the whisper of the wind. It is the whisper of your soul. There's something, now I'm covered in goosebumps. It's about commitment. It's about the path I want to truly commit to that will make my soul sing, that I know that I will continue to toil and work for the rest of my days at, whether that is your connection to an individual, whether that is your connection to a family, your family. Like, this is the dynasty card. Creating a family, creating a dynasty, which leaves a legacy of everything of who I am and why I've made the choices, what adversity has taught me, and why I've carried this strong sense of pride. Now I feel like crying because there's been this humbling and this bare face, this bare heart. And that's what the energy has been about for you this year. It's almost like on deeper levels, you wanted it all to be worth it, Capricorn. You wanted everything to be of purpose. You wanted the adversity to truly lead you to your pot of gold. But perhaps in seeking that outcome, you were tackling it from old beliefs, old paradigms, old energy, an old version of you. You were trying to achieve this cornucopia, if you like, on a subtle, on an inner knowing, on a deeper level. You knew that this cornucopia you were seeking could be achieved, can be achieved, but you were perhaps trying the hard way, is what I'm feeling here, Cappy. There's a deep humbling I'm feeling, like it's almost like everything you are is already enough for you to achieve and align to what it is that is rightfully yours. I just feel like there is such hard work here on the mental realms, on the 3D realms, that you felt like you kept having to push, justify, show cause. You know, look at this. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Are you that gracious with yourself? I know that you are with others. You are the lighthouse. You are the CEO. You run the ship. You are the person that people go to for direction, guidance, and you do that in such a non-judgmental way in many ways because you understand what it takes to reach the summit, yeah? You understand what it takes. And yes, in the shadow elements, we can have unrealistic expectations of others, but more importantly, the essence of Capricorn, they are solitary. They know they must do it. So you're not always going to expect others to do it like you too. A natural part of that is feeling alone, you know, in your journeys, in your experiences, in your whatever the case is. You know, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Are you as forgiving with yourself as you are with others? You know, there's a deeper call here. And if you kept getting brick walls so far this year because you continue to toil, continue to work, the gift then is to see that these adversities aren't necessarily adversities, but they were signposts to show you that you were already abundant and it was time to let down tools that no longer work. Those old emotional tools you used to use, the old communication tools you used to use, the thoughts that were so comfortable to have and use, okay, that those old things are no longer of use. It is the dawn of a new day. It's the zero field. You know, your higher self, the universe, whatever the case may be, is calling to you to truly go into temple here and get clear. And if life pressed pause on you deliberately, frustratingly perhaps, it's done it for a reason, to ask you to really connect into this heart space, this intuitive space, which is the wisdom of soul. And we marry our intuition with our emotions. There's a lot of wisdom there, a lot of soulful energy, so that we can get clear on the path we want to travel ahead. July is a very significant month for you. Maybe you are connecting into a Cancer, but July is significant because of the full moon lunar eclipse. You know, the full moons highlight awareness to us. They highlight a need to release something. Maybe, you know, that full moon, because it is also an eclipse and it finalizes your ecliptical cycle of the last 2.5 years, is quite poignant and significant. And the journey between now and then, the journey between June to July is going to feel frustrating and also quite, you're going to be toppling between feeling insecure, perhaps, feeling not courageous, okay, feeling like I have to take a step back and observe, feeling disconnected, feeling quite foolish because I'm suddenly thinking new ways that don't feel like they fit me, but they just don't fit the old you, Cappy, is what I'm going to say. There's a new dawn when it comes to abundance in your life this year, okay? The challenges that have been put on your path have been called forth by you, by your soul, to teach you and gift you a sense of self, a form of wisdom that you can really integrate, to take, like where you're going, your higher self's goal for you is this amplification of a stronger relationship with spirit, so that it can really guide your way towards your 10 of coins, towards your marriage, your commitment, your success. And like I said, I don't use that marriage word lightly. It's about union, your union with your higher self. Okay, so it can be with you, so you do not have to travel alone. Forming this marriage and this relationship, you know, it will make you not feel alone. Okay, you have a partner and you can apply that however it resonates for you. You know, avoiding this union is perhaps even, there's issues there where I feel like I have to travel solitary. There's a lot of solo figures, you know, in the tarot. And these are the things we have to integrate on our own and by ourselves, yes. But there are many times where we can come together in union too, reach out for support, reach out for advice, just to know someone's with us. You know, even their presence in our lives means something to us. And this is about you coming into your higher self, reigniting that youthful love you have of life, of path, of possibilities, and wanting to really make manifest a true and genuine karmic end, okay? A separation from old, a separation from old ways of being, doing, thinking, all right? So that you can really get clear on what emotional fulfillment, what is your 10 of cups? What does a heart full feel like to you, and why does that rattle and shake you so much that you've perhaps even cut away everything that resembled it, because it was safer just to focus on this, you know, Capricornian energy of toiling, working, solitary living. We can be in connection and still be quite solo, you know, disconnected emotionally unavailable, and the King of Swords is there. Look who else. The King of Swords is underneath the deck here, and the Queen of Swords is underneath this one. These are divine partners. This is the feminine aspect of the mind. This is the masculine aspect of the mind. This is also a divine counterpart that meets me at my intellectual level. There's a union here of new thoughts, new ways of thinking, being. The old beliefs that were not serving you, Cappy, old fears, they had to be cut. There's a leveling up here in your consciousness is the greatest gift of 2020 for you. All right? But definitely I'm connecting into Cappies that are coming into divine union with your match. Take that however it resonates. July offers a beautiful milestone marker. And I wanted to do this style of reading because it's essentially, like I said, it's about starting at a certain point and ending at a certain point, and what were we subconsciously learning despite what we consciously wanted new. Many Capricorns I'm connecting into are redefining their relationship and views on abundance. They're quite, and even on a healthy level, rather than using adversity as a milestone, like I said, to beat them, to fix it, to redo the past in some way. It was about really having a new and healthy relationship with adversity and going through the timeline in that way. Because we can choose a career path, we can choose a way of life, because it's almost like a rebellion against what was shown to us, given to us, and it hurt us. Does that make sense when we go through the timeline? I'm going to choose this career because it's the career they told me not to do, and stuff them, they don't matter to me anymore. You know, that's that kind of energy I'm picking up on here. That my relationship with adversity is shifting and changing too. There's an abundance here of wisdom for you this year, really, you know, and a beautiful, permanent sense of pride in who you are and how far you have come. But there's an invitation here from the divine, from your higher self, to do things in a whole new way, to feel safe, to come into union, whatever that means for you, to open your heart to love. Genuinely, you know, whether you're coming into union with a higher ideal, coming into union with new beliefs, possibilities, new ways to experience your emotions, whether you're coming into union with another, okay? It's completely unique for each of the Capricorns that I'm connecting into, but there is a unification energy here and emerging. And there's also, like, I'm covered in goosebumps. It's so you can experience this new beginning openly, with an open, free heart. And I am open to life, rather than feeling reserved, rather than feeling closed off, rather than feeling like I have to wait for things to manifest and they're not quite coming. You know, there's a karmic balancing here, guys. You're closing an old timeline. October feels special, but like I said, more specifically, August to December and that's going to time in right before your next birthday season, okay? Watch what you can achieve in that time. It kicks off in July, more importantly, as you head towards your October, you know, as you head towards the end of the year and your new birthday season next year. The next year is quite significant. You're working with double aces, okay? All right, my lovely Cappy, that was your practically soulful reading for the month of July, to give you some insight on the union between the subconscious and the conscious, the original goal, the actual goal, okay? Connecting in with our higher self and seeing how that energy might be playing out, the wisdom lessons we've been learning. For 2020, I will go into more practical detail with your fortnightly readings, okay? So I do them for the first 2 weeks and the final 2 weeks of the month. The fortnightlies for July, or the first 2 weeks of July, will be up after I do the monthlies, okay? But as always, over on Instagram, you will see quick reads where you can check in each week, and I upload them on a Saturday or a Sunday Australia time, so that they're there well and truly in time. So the quick reads for next week, kicking off June 29th, are already up. All right, my lovely Cappies, I hope you've gotten something out of that. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the channel next time. Have a beautiful month.